Hi there, I'm here with Jim Anderson, CEO of SocialFlow, and we're about to tell you some more interesting things about social media. But Jim, first, tell us why you picked Grand Central Station.
Yeah, Grand Central is a great analogy of the way media companies used to distribute content, sort of pre-internet, pre-social media. And so I thought this was a great way to illustrate the way things used to be. And if you think about it, we've got the lines right up here. We've got the Harlem line, we've got the New Haven line, we've got the Hudson line, and those sort of represent what could be like magazine media, newspaper, TV, radio, in terms of how media companies used to distribute content. So imagine people would come in, they'd get on a line, and then they'd go out to a destination, and the destination would be like the individual titles. So Sports Illustrated, the New York Times, the BBC, whatever the type of destination is, people get off at that destination, they consume the content, and then they go back and get on a train to go either back or somewhere else. So that's sort of the way things used to be, but the world has changed now, as you know, and as we've been talking about. Social media has sort of flipped that.
Right, I was going to say, so social media, trains have been around, predates social media, so now with social media, tell me a little bit how does this analogy work with the fact of, social media has, when you've got so many people here, you have so many trains, if you like, you have, it's such a crowded space, and you have so many messages flying by. So
imagine Grand Central. Number one, you've got a million times more destinations than in reality with real rail tracks, and you've got about 1 billion people coming in here every day. So it would completely overwhelm the quantity. But that's what we're dealing with, right? In today's media world, there's so much information. The beautiful thing, and the thing that Facebook has done so well, is make it so that you don't actually ever have to leave the station. The content will come to you. And so that's where we are right now, with media companies actually are producing their content. So instead of you as the user going out to the destination, the media companies are producing the content. It's coming into you, and it's coming so fast that the social platforms, Facebook most notably, have developed algorithms to try to filter it. So imagine all of the content coming in here to the station, you as the user consume it, and that's sort of how things have flipped on their head from the previous model where people went out to get the content. Now people receive the content.
Okay, so I'm here, obviously, I need to catch a train. There are millions more tracks than we see here. I mean, here I see at least 30 just eyeballing it here. Pretend there's 300 times that number. I'm only around for a very short time. I'm only going to be watching, listening. I have a small amount of attention span. I'm running around. I have my phone. How would you capture my attention? Like how does SocialFlow help?
Yeah, and that's exactly what we do with our data-driven approach and our algorithms, is trying to understand where the windows of attention are. If there's 1 billion people here, they're not all here at the same time. They're coming, they're going, and we see that. People coming and going, at all hours of the day and night. So ultimately, the key is how do you slot your content into the window of attention and obviously make sure it's relevant and interesting to people, something they want to see.
Right.
And then also timing matters a lot, right? Now at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon is very different than 3 o'clock in the morning.
So in other words, we as SocialFlow will know. For instance, people running to track 28 right now, moving slowly. We basically know when they're on their phones. We know what they're clicking, sharing, and so right at this precise moment, we'll be shooting out stuff to hit. The lady just sort of ambled down the station right now. We know she's going to be on her phone.
Exactly. Right message at the right time to the right user is ultimately what everybody wants to do. And then the question is, it's one thing to do that for 1 or 2 or 5 people, but can you do that at scale across millions or even hundreds of millions of users? And that's the real challenge for media companies today.
And they need us to do it.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. All right, thanks very much, Jim.
Thank you.
Thanks very much for joining us, and I hope everybody enjoyed beautiful Grand Central Station.